Thank you for joining the Good Neighbor podcast. I'm Tish Taylor with Concerned Citizens of St. John, and this is our space where we talk about environmental justice, about our resilience in our community, how wonderful we did and how wonderful we survive in every day, and also social responsibility, that maybe we can inspire you to actually participate in a little activities or just learn a few things and share it. All right, thank you so much for joining us. Today we have Miss Geraldine Watkins, my best friend here. I just love her so much. And she's going to tell us about her history with Concerned Citizens of St. John and a little bit about herself. And I'm so happy that you're here with me. Hi, Miss Watkins.
Hey, baby.
How you doing?
I'm alive and kicking. Ain't no sense complaining.
All right, all right, all right. So what I want is a little history because you're not a native of St. John Parish. Tell me, who are your people? Where you from?
Well, I was born and raised in Hamtramck, Michigan, the heart of Detroit. Married Clarence Watkins in Niagara Falls, New York, in my older sister's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
When he decided to, he brought me down here in 1960 for the first time. Most beautiful area I've ever been in, out of the city. When he retired, he said, asked me if I would come with the children to live here in Louisiana with him. And I told him ever so happily, never thinking, that the air, the water, and the soil was going to come into an issue because it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
The gardens, the pigs, the chickens, the horses, everything being raised on both sides of the levee,
Yeah.
and the people with the food. I think I gained at least 20 pounds in about 5 days.
We will feed you.
Yes, you will.
You will enjoy it.
Yes, ma'am. I definitely did. And you couldn't say no because it was always just a little taste.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat much.
Mm-hmm.
But the little taste you eat makes you want to come back for more.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So, Ms. Watkins, I remember you had gardens and
Yes,
chickens and you had pigs
no
too,
chicken.
right? No chicken.
No chickens.
You had
The pigs, the rabbits, and the dogs.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. And I know that big garden. And I watched your trees and love your Japanese plum trees. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know the yard was filled with. And one time you had figs too?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I was trying to hustle all of your stuff across the fence. I know that. So
Yes, ma'am.
obviously you enjoyed
Yeah.
nature and having the gardens and everything. Tell me how you started in advocacy. What triggered you to start even just doing things in a community?
Well, when I came here to live, because we did things all while we were in Europe, with families. So when I came here to live, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to see if I could make St. John Parish or the state of Louisiana a better place to live, not only for me, but for everybody in the community. So I decided when I first heard about the meeting, which was July the 7th, 2015, the birthday, my birthday,
Was it 15?
the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, why wasn't I notified? No one in the parish knew about the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And then when my cousin came home, she called me and asked me, why wasn't I there at the church with everybody else? I said, I never knew anything about it. She said, there's a big red flag that the state of Louisiana is burning up with toxins, killing people,
Mm-hmm.
but it continues, industry continues to roll on irregardless
Yes.
of how many people die.
Yeah.
It's like, in a way, may I use the word genocide? Because
Yes,
it's
you're
killing us.
You're in a safe place.
All right. It's killing us. You see your elders die. You saw the children are born and they're how you say, I'm looking for the correct word, when the bodies aren't properly developed,
Yeah.
misshapen and what have you, or else they have problems with the heads, there's so many things going on. The men with the prostate cancer, women with breast cancer,
Yeah.
children with lung cancer, diabetes, you name it, we have some of it, you
Yes.
know. And it has been proven that in our urine we already carry the chloroprene. So
Yes.
the traces, so there's no way to get rid of it,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And then I, I was informed about a meeting going on at Chapatoulas Chapel with Mr. Taylor, whom I had met previously, and most of his family. And when I went to the church, Reverend Murphy, I had to make a couple comments because I was trying to figure out, how can I be involved to help make this a better place? St. John, even, you
Right.
know. And Pastor Murphy and Mr. Taylor asked me if I would join, along with Miss Hampton and a few others. But I said I'd be more than happy to. What can I do to help?
Yes.
So after that, we had meetings going on at Chapatoulas Chapel. This is Concerned Citizens now that I've become a part of and involved in. And I just felt that if we can contact with people throughout not only St. John Parish, St. Charles, St. James, as far as we could ride in the little car that your dad was doing the driving, because I couldn't see well enough at night. Didn't know where we were going anyway, but he took me to all the churches and different things that were going on. And I said, wonderful, and I would jot down little notes so that when we got back to Chapatoulas Chapel, anybody there that wanted to know any information that we found out, I would have it, bullet points that I could remember things with. But it got to a point where there were people within the audience, a few of them, whose names I won't mention, but they didn't care to hear what I had to say. And they wanted to know why weren't they involved. Well, I mean, I can offer you the invitation. I can offer you the invitation to come and eat with me. And if you decline it, or you have something else that's more important, why am I being held to blame?
Yeah. Well, I know that you and Daddy ran the streets. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yes, we did.
Y'all ran the streets, honey. And I'm like, Dad is like, oh, me and Miss Watkins, we went here, we went there. And I was like, okay, y'all are rolling. And I was like, I don't want to participate. I'm just not doing it,
Sure
But
didn't.
I know that it was you and him.
Yeah.
Y'all were on the road, and
Yes.
he was all over everywhere, meeting people all over
Including
everywhere.
New Orleans.
Oh, back and forth.
Yes,
He was
ma'am.
even going down to Plaquemines,
Yes.
Louisiana,
Okay.
taking trips there.
Yes.
And I mean, as the organization started getting people from different parishes coming in,
Yes.
that kind of got us all connected to where the connectivity from St. Charles, which came later with St. Charles, but with
Right.
St. John and St. James,
Yes.
really became something like a coordinated effort with
Yes.
with Rise St. James, and I love that. Concerned Citizens, we did so much, and it was so much information. Miss Wilma Suber would come, and you were the one that would record. You'd
Yes.
do the Facebook Live
Yes, on
in
the
the front with her phone, with your phone, and so that people can understand what was going on, because it was so important for people to know. And
Yes.
back then, we actually did have a crowd of people
We did.
that came. It's just eventually people just don't want to hear bad news all
Yeah.
the time,
True.
all the time, even though it was facts,
That's it.
and that was it.
And it was in black and white. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I interrupted.
that's okay.
Yeah.
It was in black and white, so it's there for us to see. So with us and moving forward, what inspired you to even care about the community in the beginning? I know you started with your granddaughter, right?
Well, no, it was. Well, it wasn't just my granddaughter. The idea. I was involved with Youth Against Crime in the projects. Okay, so with Margie and Audrey Brown, the twins, and we were getting the youth together to educate them and to show them that there are other ways of life, that you don't have to be on drugs, you don't have to do prostitution, you don't have to steal from people. every place I've been, if I wanted something, I'd catch the manager and ask, sir, I'm passing through here. Would it be all right if I had one of these?
Mm-hmm.
I asked for one ashtray. I was smoking at that time. I wound up with 4.
Wow.
But, I said, thank you so much. It is a
Mm-hmm.
given, you know. But it's just that someone has to care.
Right.
And I just felt that I needed to care, to do whatever I could, and especially for the youth.
Yes.
There didn't seem to be anything going on that was helping them improve their quality of life. So with the Youth Against Crime, the bike-a-thons, the after-school tutoring,
Yeah.
the dances we held at Our Lady of Grace Gymnasium.
Mm-hmm.
Coca-Cola brought us the machines and set them up and everything. I can't think of Mr. Baloney's name, and I'm not referring to Carl and Earl or the rest of the
It's a
family.
different balloon.
Yeah, this gentleman had a sporting goods store on Airline Highway. Mr. Baloney did the Yak logo for us, and then put them on T-shirts for us, and didn't charge us anything.
That's nice.
So that was, a contribution from the community. Lloyd Johnson, who was the sheriff at the time, he was just loving what we were doing with the kids, The fire department, I can't remember who the chief was then at the time, but he was on board with us also, Then we had the 2 sugar queens. One was the sugar queen, I think, Gwenny Barado's daughter. Well, I don't remember her name right now, but she was one of Sugar Queens, and Angela August was the other one. And we had a bike-a-thon where they blocked the streets. We had people with Corvettes that had the queens in the Corvettes. There was the sheriff's department with us. There was the I don't know what you call it, but
It was a big deal.
it was a big deal. It was beautiful.
You know,
The community came out.
I had never heard of that before, Youth Against Crime.
Okay.
And it sounded like it was a big deal. And, so I want us to do a little investigating so that we can go and pull up the history on that, because I love the idea that that was something that y'all did for the community.
Right.
And I mean, it brought everybody together.
It did.
Government, the sheriff, everyone was involved. I really love that, because that's really community resilience.
Yes.
When you can pull up everyone and come together to help just influence the youth to do positive things and give them something to do. And that's what you guys did.
Yes.
So tell me about this special phone call you got.
Well, we were just about ready to sit down at dinner. We were in Laplace Project, which we call government quarters. Okay. And we were about to sit down to dinner, and the phone rings. So I picked up the phone. I said, hello. And she said, hello, is this Miss Geraldine Watkins? And I said, yes, it is. Who is this? And she said, this is Jimmy Carter's secretary. I said, what kind of joke are you playing, lady? And I hung up the phone. So she called right back. And I picked up the phone, and I said, hello. And she said, Miss Watkins, I am really the secretary for President Jimmy Carter. I called my husband. I said, Daddy, come hear this. I don't believe it. She says it's true. President Carter asked me to call and let you know that Senator J. Bennett Johnson is going to be the one that's going to connect with you for the organization that you have, because we had written them a letter, the president a letter. Okay? And he will be the one to help you with everything you need. And I was flabbergasted. So I'm kind of standing there. And all I could say was, thank you very much. And I hung up the phone. And within days, a package about that thick arrived, big brown envelope full of information and goodies. And we followed through with it. Miss Donna Charles Jackson, she's deceased now. She helped me put together the grant to receive funding But apparently something was wrong when we sent it back. So we didn't receive anything at that time. This was possibly 78 or 79.
Yeah.
So by 82, I think this was President Carter's second term.
Okay.
By 82, he had formed the czar. I cannot remember his name to save me. He was the drug czar, okay, for the federal government, okay, in Jimmy Carter's cabinet. You'll run across his name eventually. But he got funding together, and after Miss Segu with the Laplace projects, we had not only Laplace, Reserve, Garyville, and Edgar.
All right.
Okay, everybody had the opportunity with their children to be involved, and they became involved. Okay, so by 1982, I had burnout. My husband woke me up with my face in my dinner plate. So he said, it's time to quit. You're going to have to give it up. You need a rest.
Yeah.
So when the telephone call came from Miss Segu stating that they had offered us $80,000, I said, I'm so sorry, but I am too tired to start it back up again.
Oh.
And then it was mostly the families, that had the children that lived in the projects that were doing all the work.
Yeah.
They even got together once a month. Miss Segu let us use the center that was in Laplace. They would get their food stamps together, prepare a meal, and everybody in the project was welcome to come and sit down and eat.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And we did that. The children sitting between adults, we were all family.
Yeah.
And that was so beautiful.
That
But
is.
well, I was trying to find a way to give them some sort of stipend or compensation, and I never was able to get the funds.
But what happened is what we call community resilience.
Yes.
Everybody bought what they had
Yes,
together
yes,
and shared
yes,
and became a family.
we were.
My goodness, boy, if we can do that right now. I mean, no, anytime we can pull everyone together with the resources that they actually bring to the table. We don't know how powerful we are
Yes,
with what we have
that's it.
because everybody has something different. Like I want that rising bread. I can't get that from anybody, Ms. Watkins. There's no pressure on you or nothing like that.
No.
But I'm expecting to come over there and
All right.
attempt to make it. But really, I just want to bring
See
it home.
And I want you to be able to feel the dough. You've got to work it with your own hands so that you know how much pressure, how much kneading you need to do.
Right.
And then how you have to cut it out and sit down, let go into
it
buttered
rise.
pans and let it rise.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
that is things that pulls families together,
Yes,
pulls
ma'am.
people together.
Yes, ma'am.
We want that. Anything that will bring families closer together, it makes just the family more resilient.
Yes.
And they have a confidence from that it opens them up to community as well.
Right.
I love that you've always been involved, and to an extent. But what you did without the funds from the
Right.
government
Right.
was wonderful.
Yes.
It was a wonderful thing.
But may I just interject one thing? The hardest thing I found was a few people I ran into wanted to know how much money I was going to make out of. And I had to keep telling them, I'm not in it for the money. I don't receive a dime.
Yeah.
My husband was my backup, 100% with this. He became involved with it. My children became involved in it. So we as a family pulled other families together, And there are so many children in this parish right now that have become young adults that still remember me when I bump into them in the store and my eyesight isn't what it used to be and I have to look hard. And I said, hey, baby, how you doing? I said, what's your name?
My sight is fine, and I'm still doing that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that it's just beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
It's beautiful because that was generations ago. They
Yes.
take that with them.
Yes.
They take that with them.
Yes.
And having that impact is so important. You also did a few things with the church, and I love the annual octogenarian
Program.
program.
Yes, ma'am. With Mount Nebo. We would have it once a year. I wrote a letter to Senator Mary Landrieu, excuse me, at the time. Her secretary called me back and said, Senator Landrieu said that if you send the names, the addresses, and the birth dates, we'll send you some certificates from the state. She signed every one of them. And there was about 15 or 20 octogenarians. We had a Shoney's back there on 51.
Yeah.
After the church presentation of the certificates and the pastor's sermon, which was short, you know,
Right.
we piled everybody in vehicles, took them to Shoney's, fed them, and then brought them back so that to the church, the two churches, so that they could go home.
That's
But
awesome.
we also were able to get Walmart to give us coffee cups. So we rolled the certificates up and stuck them in the coffee cups. You know, we didn't want to crease them or anything. Stuck them in the coffee cup. And I can't remember if it was Reverend Willie Smith that handed them to each one of them, or Brother Bourgeois, Adam Bourgeois, but someone handed the cups to each one of
That's
the
awesome.
octogenarians, and it was so beautiful.
I don't know how many octogenarians we have now. I think we got to go, maybe we go to the senior citizens place and see what we have over there left. I know my dad is 85, so he's
Okay.
all the way in the octogenarian.
Well, we won't discuss age.
We're not
We're not
discussing
discussing
age
age.
right now?
No,
Okay, okay,
yes.
all right. Okay, my bad.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
I know you live near DuPont. That's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
closest facility that you live near. And I know that you've experienced like explosions from them. And
Right.
tell me a little bit about your experience with
Well, it had to be around 1980 or 81. We had the most beautiful jasmine bushes growing out in front of the house. And let me tell you, my hay fever would have a fit the minute I walk out the door. But they were just so beautiful. I woke up one morning, everything was covered with a black soot. And I couldn't figure out, well, where did this come from? You know, this was like an overnight thing. The house is covered, the lawn's covered, and my jasmine bushes are black with this. And they looked like they were starting to die already from whatever it was, and I had no idea. So I woke up my husband. I said, come take a look at this. Where did this come from? We found out, I think it was a couple days later, that DuPont had cut loose something. I don't know if you want to call it an explosion or something out of the stack, but it had covered St. John Parish.
Wow.
Okay, so, I mean, this is one experience. And then the next one, the explosion was so loud, it cracked the ceiling at my front door. My front door still doesn't hang right.
Yeah.
And they redid the house, but they couldn't straighten
Square
up
it.
the door, you know, the steel door. So,
You know, and the thing about explosions and stuff, that's something that randomly happens that we live under the threat of at all times, because that's normally human error.
yes.
And, you know, being so not perfect myself, I know that
Right.
I'm prone to errors.
Me too, me too.
But
Yes, ma'am.
in the case of them with spills and things like that, it's so dangerous for us. And in most cases, we have no idea, you know, what's going on. So to find out about the emissions, even with the emissions of chloroprene, they actually covered the entire parish.
Yes,
You know, and
Yes.
so people don't understand that it's not just what's right along the sides of DuPont and Dinka that's contaminated. It's the entire parish, from Lake
Yes.
Maurepas to the spillway to Lake des Allemands on the
Excuse
West
me.
Bank.
Yes, ma'am.
And that everyone that we tested, I think it was over 20 people,
Yes.
did the urinalysis and found that they had chloroprene metabolites.
Yes.
Miss Sharon with Rise St. James said they were tested this year,
All right.
and they showed chloroprene
Okay.
metabolites in their urine.
All right.
So it's not something that's concentrated in one area. The heavy concentration is where you are
Here.
and where we are
Right.
along the river road.
Right.
But pretty much it's all over everywhere. So when there is an explosion, I mean, we don't really know what was sent out with that. But the issue is every single day of our lives, we're getting this odorless, colorless,
Yes. But what people don't
emission.
understand, wherever the wind blows, it brings with it something.
Absolutely.
Okay? I could go out of my house first thing in the morning, and the minute I take a deep breath, my nose starts snotting, my eyes start running water, and I'm trying, what is wrong with you? You're not 3 years old. What have you done now?
And there's
You
no
know,
jasmine in your yard to
and there's
set off
no,
your hay,
no
hay
that's it.
fever.
That's
Yeah.
it. You know, so and then I go back in the house and I said, well, if I cut off the air conditioner, I'm going to smother.
Yeah.
You know, so what do I do? How am I supposed to survive this?
Yeah.
You know, and it's almost like that song, Killing Me Softly, because it's odorless, it's colorless, but it's in our air, our water, and our soil.
Absolutely.
People looked at me crazy like when I said, what goes up must come down.
Yeah.
You don't think about, you know, they're spewing all this into our air, and when it rains, it's in the clouds. The clouds push the water down with whatever is in it.
Right.
So it's going in the soil, and I told people as the river rises, you can have the most beautiful garden in your yard.
Yeah.
But if the vegetables' roots are reaching for water,
Yeah.
they're going to pull some of this toxin in.
Right.
You think you're eating something healthy, you know,
Yes.
but you're not.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
So how do we get industry to realize we're tired of you killing us?
Right.
You know, it's a time for you to realize you need to clean up your act.
Right.
And all I ever ask as a member of Concerned Citizens is, industry, take the people that you have working for them, make them set things right.
Yes.
So they can keep their jobs, we can keep our lives, and there's a place for our children to grow and have a prosperous life.
Safe, healthy life.
Yes, ma'am.
Safe, healthy life.
Yes,
That's so
ma'am.
important.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's all we were asking.
That's all.
So our little share. What do you think about this accomplishment that we've had with this?
Oh, we've done great things, baby.
I think we have.
Amen. We've done great things. Yes, yes. I mean, so many great things. And then the idea of going to the UN just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I think that is the coup de grace.
Yeah.
Because I kept telling your daddy, you're at the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Don't quit now.
Yeah.
It's just, you just got to take that one step and start that slow walk down.
Yeah.
Because you've been there.
Yeah.
You've done what you wanted to do to begin with. You've made this place known to the world.
Yes.
And if the world knows, and the world is commenting about what's going on here,
Right.
why aren't the people getting in an uproar about what's happening to them?
Yeah.
You know what used to drive me crazy? And I'll try and be brief. I walk into Walmart. My niece, who is deceased now, Dorothy Lee, 5. The minute I'd hit the door, she'd be sitting on the side there. Oh, Jerry, what you hear about the settlement? When they gonna settle? And I kept telling them, I had to keep telling them, and I had to tell her in a harsh way. You signed up with a lawyer. Call your lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay? Ask
We
your
didn't
lawyer.
do that lawsuit. The lawyers did. That was.
The lawsuit.
Yeah.
It's with the lawyers. I haven't signed up with anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
When they have a meeting, you have to be at the meeting.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, it went in one ear, came out the other ear. But that was my niece. So you know.
So Ms. Watkins, when you look at how successful you were you and the twins
Yes.
were with your YAC program
Yes.
and look at concerned citizens and the work that we've done, how do we just kind of get the people involved? How do we reach out to the young parents, to students? You know, what is it that's the catalyst that got you all together in the beginning, and how can we move that forward to the 21st century? How do we get these students to know what's going on? What do you think about just informing the community?
We would actually have to go into the school system and talk to some of the teenagers,
Yeah.
in the high schools.
Yeah.
I mean, the little people would fall in line in a New York minute. You'd be surprised how brilliant those little minds are, all right? So they would be more than happy to be a part of something as great as concerned citizens, or just say the St. John the Baptist Parish community that is doing great things. This is where I live. This is my home. Look what we have accomplished.
Yeah. And
this is what
Yeah.
we want. But as I tried to I've been talking to people, and sometimes I wonder if they think I'm crazy.
We are a little crazy.
Yeah,
really
you gotta
are.
be. You gotta be to be in this world we're living in.
we're a little
But
crazy.
anyway, I tell them we gotta come together. We sit down, we talk about what we want to do. But if you don't send communications out, because knowledge is power,
Yes.
communications is the key.
Yeah.
Even if we have to do flyers and knock on people's door and say, look, this is happening tonight.
Right.
And it's happening in a place close to you. It's even in walking distance.
Right.
Would you take the time? Come and sit with us and give us your views. I know you have children. You have grandchildren. We're all involved in this. There's no compensation coming for any of us.
Except a cleaner air, cleaner water, and so on.
But
And resilience.
with your input, we can make this
Yeah.
a place of clean air, clean water, clean soil, and a productive community for our children.
Absolutely. I mean, we go through these horrible storms and everything, and boy, everybody comes out to help each other then. And that's
Yes, wow.
resilience.
Yes.
So how do we not come out after? How do we prepare for the next storm? How do we come together and make a disaster plan on how we're going to come to the local church or the local whatever,
Right.
and fire station, whatever, and
Right.
offer assistance to people who need it?
Right.
How do we build the resilience? It's not about all just coming together and just sitting around. This is serious. We want to create a new interest in us moving and evolving
Right.
to a working machine that not only advocates for clean air, water, and soil, but advocates for fair housing, for housing opportunities, for things that education,
Yes.
for all the things that this community needs to be a better functioning community, to keep our youth here because they're moving away because they can, they're not finding
Right.
jobs. So how do we be creators of our future? How do we actively participate in creating a positive, healthy future for our children? And that's what it means to show up at a meeting. It's not about who's running it. It's not about a personality thing. We're always going to have that. But we can get past all of that if we have one major goal.
Yes.
And that's to grow together and build up each other. And I think that there's enough strong leaders in the community, if that would be able to speak up. And man, I love when I hear a young person. I just judged the science fair.
Oh, wonderful.
There was a young man at that science fair that had on, I don't know if it wasn't a tuxedo.
Okay.
He was, and I mean, the students were brilliant.
They are.
They were brilliant, and they
had one at
cared
home.
about the environment. And I'm
Yes.
like, how do I need them.
Right.
Because just like you felt comfortable talking to me, a
Right.
stranger, I want you to be able to stand in front of your class and say, this is what I did, and this is what we need to do. And if we paid attention to this, That's what we're supposed to be building.
Yes.
And as concerned citizens, that's social responsibility.
Yes.
That creates resilience.
Yes.
Resilience is in our youth.
But resilience is the thing, but communication is the key.
Absolutely.
I mean, I tried to talk some organizations, and they're finally doing flyers. You got to do flyers. You got to hit the newspaper, even every small newspaper in every community
Right.
within the state of Louisiana, if you need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the other thing is, you've got to get not only the students, try to get some of the school teachers involved.
Yeah.
Once you get the school teachers involved, they can bring the message home to the students in the classroom.
Yes.
You got to get your elders involved, because a lot of them are the babysitters. They're the key behind the home right now, because parents are working.
Right.
Someone's got to watch those little people and keep them out of trouble.
Yes.
You know, and spoil them to death. Anyway.
Yeah, I know you're spoiling yours.
Yes, ma'am. But it's still, we go back to communication, baby.
Yes.
All right, television. I mean, they're always talking about, well, they're doing this here and they're doing that there. Well, then tell them we're doing this right here.
Right. Right.
How can you help us spread the word?
Right.
You know, and we don't want it spread one time. We want it constantly.
Constantly.
And each time that you spread the word, give an update on what we have accomplished.
Absolutely. Accountability is a big deal.
All right.
That's a
But
part
we're
of it.
not holding those that are in charge their foot to the fire.
Yeah.
You gotta make them accountable for all the wrongs that they do and make them correct them.
Right.
Don't let them get away with it.
Right.
You know, I mean, we know that money is the root of all evil.
The love of money.
But you're all right now. You got it. You got it. But the thing we've got to look at, if you don't hit them in the pocketbook, you don't accomplish anything.
Yeah. Well, billion-dollar corporations know that, obviously, because that was one of the reasons that Dinka said that they were closing, is because they could not lower their emissions to a safe standard without making, without loss.
Yes.
And so, in that case, it was okay for them to shut down, and their employees lost their jobs because they weren't making enough money.
But
How do we, there's so many questions I want to ask you. Wisdom,
ma'am.
you got that wisdom. So we know we have to hold the petrochemical industries feet to the fire and
Yes.
actually advocate for government overview, for them to do their
Yes.
job.
Yes.
The issue is we need to be much more people
Yes, ma'am.
than 10 people with little red shirts on. And most of all, we have to understand, just like we're holding the industry and the government responsible, we are stewards of our
Yes.
air, water, and soil,
Yes.
of our families,
Yes.
and that we have a social responsibility.
Right.
And I would love for that to actually flow out of the lips of everyone that we run across. What are we going to do?
Right.
How can I make a difference? How can I join in this and make a difference for my family and the future generations and keep them here? So so how do we appeal to the masses?
I don't know, but I've one little 4-letter word that I always use, and maybe I use it in the wrong context or what have you. But to me, love is the key.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
And just to show somebody that you care about them,
Yeah.
you're trying to give them a little of your love
Yeah.
to make them realize that they have love to share also.
Yes.
When are we going to realize that we are held accountable for the wrongdoings also, because we're allowing this to happen?
Yes.
If you don't come together and speak out about it, you will never get a change.
Right.
We have to wake up.
Yeah.
The sleeping giant needs to wake up, realize who we are.
No.
We are champions. Okay? We can do anything.
We are victors,
We're the victors. Yes.
not victims.
We're not the victim. Actually, you never want to be a victim.
No, we don't.
And the one word that you should never use is can't. There's no such word as can't.
Right.
We can do great things. It's just a matter of us realizing that whatever is going on out there in the world affects us all. No matter what you look like, what your ethnic background is, where you live, we're all one of God's children.
Yes.
And we need to realize that when you cut my finger and I cut somebody else's finger, that blood is not blue, it's not green, it's not orange. The blood is red.
Yes, ma'am.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
If we can use the blood to save one another, why can't we come together with the knowledge that we all have?
All have. And I think it's so important for us to know as individuals how much power we have in our voice.
Yes.
Everybody that I've met has something in them
Yes.
that's there. And Lord, we just want to spark that because we should never think that we're powerless.
We aren't.
We should never, because we are not. And so what we need is people to come into their own power.
Yes.
Look in that mirror and say, I know I got this. I know I can do this. I know if I participate and do things that's important, I can make a difference.
Yes.
And there's ways and avenues that are available all around me to volunteer, to do things, and I can bring my whole family along and teach them that they can be the source of their own power. They have it within them. That's so important. I love that, Ms. Watkins.
Yes.
So I'm going to say thank you so much for coming. I love you. And I want to know, what do you think is the best definition of a good neighbor?
If we leave industry out of the equation and just talk about the people that you live with in the community, when you go outside in the morning, if you see the neighbor outside, you say good morning, how you doing? Spend a few minutes talking, find out if they need something, if you're capable of helping your neighbor.
Right.
So when bad times come, we can all pull together, as we normally do.
Right.
So why can't we do that in everyday life? You sit out on your front porch. The young people are walking by. What do they say? Hey, Mom, how you doing? I'm doing all right, baby. How you doing today?
Yes.
How's your family? Tell them hello for me, please.
Yeah.
If in time of death, you go and you knock on the neighbor's door and say, you have my sympathy, but is there anything that I can do to help you at this time?
Right.
If there is, please feel free to call on me.
Yes.
You know what shape I'm in, and I will do the best of my ability to help you to make it a better day for you, if I can.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful neighbor. And I know that's you. Right?
That's how I was raised.
Yes.
I can't help
and you
that.
raised yours.
Yes, ma'am. How I raised my children also. And I've raised many others that way also.
And I think we all have that too, where we influence everyone around. Your
Yes,
children
ma'am.
come with their friends, and we just do the same thing with them.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you so much.
I would love to have an area where I could pull children in and just talk them, let them be themselves, and tell us what's on their mind.
Yeah.
See, this is what we have to do to open the doors.
You have to listen to them.
We have to listen to them. They need an opportunity to talk also.
I agree.
And the minds are brilliant, baby.
I know. I've
Yes,
seen
ma'am.
it.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Thank you
Well,
for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. And thank you guys again for joining the Good Neighbor podcast. I'm Tish Taylor. Think about it. You are the strength in your family. You are the strength for yourself. We all have a light inside of us. It's time to let that light shine.
Yes.
Come on and be a part of a new beginning. Create a new beginning in your family. And let's just move forward. and that just change this whole community.
Yes.
Let's be the place where at the epicenter of a new beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds so good.
Yes.
I like that. Well, thank you again, and I hope that you are always a good neighbor. Thank you for joining us, and please subscribe, like, and share the podcast. Thank you.